is Chase Young's biggest impact on the 49ers?
It's something that I talked about last week with Larry, and I think that it really came to fruition this week, which is he's very good individually, Grant. We know that. We saw that. But his biggest impact is now they finally have the depth that they've really been missing all season. Even last year, Grant, they were able to run full rotations where they would bring all four starters off the field, bring in four backups, and they were okay. They allowed Bosa and Armstead and some of these guys to get a lot of rest throughout the game, and then they would bring them in big situations on those drives, and then they would do whole drives with them. That really, to me, had been missing to this point in the season. This last week was the first time that you saw it pretty regularly. Even before the game was out of hand, they were pulling out a lot of the starters and going with the second tier line. And the second tier line is still a very good one now that Chase Young has pushed everybody down the depth chart. So I think his biggest impact is just allowing everybody else to rest and be at their best because he's brought depth to the defensive line that this team has always been used to until this year.
Yeah, and I think that's where, to me, the Niners are a little wonky with their roster building philosophy. Like, they spend so much money on their defensive line, where to me it's like defensive linemen are a dime a dozen. You can find defensive linemen everywhere. Yeah, Chase Young was available. Randy Gregg's available. You got Randy Gregory for nothing. You got Chase Young for like not even a top 100 pick. They're around, and like, they don't play 100% of the snaps, even the best ones. It's a rotation. You need to be 8 deep on the defensive line. Every team needs to be 8 deep, so you don't necessarily need to be giving out like 3, 4 huge contracts on that position group. You can get guys. You can have platoons. You can work it out. On the offensive line, those guys play 100% of the snaps unless they're Spencer Burford. Like, I don't understand skimping there. You can play money ball in the D line and still get really good players. You can't do that on the offensive line and actually be able to pass protect. In my brain, you can do outside zone.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you see it all the time. There's big name. DJ Jones was a later pick. He was a massive, massive get for the 49ers. He brought so much value to that team before he was out. And then they went and got guys like Amenahu, Arden Key, Ebukam. They've bargained bin shopped. I understand the elite pass rusher, the Bosa for sure, definitely. Maybe you need one more guy that's very, very good, an Armstead or a Hargrave, what have you. But outside of that, you really can just build up the depth and just go at it that way. That's definitely the way to win, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Just shows you got to be 8 deep, and I think what you want to do, instead of signing Armstead for 1 million years at 30 and a Hargrave for 1 million years at 30, and I think you want to do what the Eagles do, sort of draft that position and maybe let people go sometimes. It's what they did with DeForest Buckner. It's the wrong guy to let go. But yeah, I think they've look. They should re-sign Chase Young unless he's cheap. Otherwise, it's like another high-priced defensive lineman. You need to be 8 deep on that position, not 4 deep. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be an interesting thing this offseason. But I think Chase Young's probably going to price himself out. I think he's going to get big money somewhere else. If Arden Key could get paid what he got, or Amenahu, imagine a second overall pick who struggled a little bit but is able to revive his career, look very healthy. He's still only about 25 years old. He's going to get paid big money this offseason, I think.
Yeah, also, doesn't it feel like nothing benefits a player's reputation more than going from Washington to the Niners? Like there's something about playing for Washington that kind of holds you back. Like, no one takes you seriously as a player. When Trent Williams was with Washington for a long time, he was better than he is now in the Niners. He was younger. No one talked about him like that. He was like an urban legend that if you knew a dude from Virginia or Maryland, they'd be like, do you watch Washington games? You'd be like, no. Well, you should really watch 71. He's amazing. Now, as soon as he goes to the Niners, he's like, everyone knows he's the best. And PFF says it. I feel like your profile just goes through the roof. And now Chase Young, everyone's going to forget about his overrated, forgettable years in Washington. If he has half a good season with the Niners, he'll be like, oh, it's Washington's fault, whether it was or not.
Yeah, I mean, he's
So,
playing for his future right now, and he's probably gonna get paid. He might end up having a similar career to Jadeveon Clowney, where he just bounces around team to team to team, but is always in the league, always getting paid, and always making a difference for that new team.